Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to finally be able to say that again, and I'm going to get into what took so long and why there is such a big break in just a minute. But today I really want to get into what this channel is going to be all about. I know my first video is kind of introducing me and what was taking so long and why I wanted to start this channel, but today I really wanted to get into exactly what I'm going to be posting now that I've had some time to think about it. So I'm very excited to be here and I'm so happy you're here with me, and let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so like I said, I made an introduction video already kind of introducing me personally, but I didn't want to talk about what kind of content that I was going to be doing in depth, mostly because I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing yet. And I had to take a little bit of a break after I posted my first video, which is a little silly, but I ran into some technical difficulties because I did not realize how much more difficult it was going to be to edit a much longer video, because my introduction video was kind of shorter. I think it was around like 8 minutes or something. And then the next video that I went to post was a lot longer, like somewhere around like 20-25 minutes. And I was having a really hard time kind of finding an editing software and like uploading the video. It was just like a whole big thing. But I think I figured it out. And I got a new camera, which is what we're using today. So we're still in the experimentation phase, but you know, we're getting through together. But I did just want to explain what kind of took so long, because I was so excited and like, I was like, yes, I'm finally doing it. I'm going to be consistent. I'm finally like, you know, putting myself out there. And then I just stopped. But it wasn't on purpose. So now that you know what was going on, it did give me a little bit of a break though to kind of think about what exactly this channel is, because my whole mission is around movement, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to get into like my movement journey, if I wanted to be teaching like movement stuff on here. But like I've said, I've had some time to think about it, so I'm gonna get into that right now. So I actually didn't like seek out to try to figure out what kind of content I was going to be pushing on this channel. I knew that that was kind of a gray area for me when I even started and I posted that first video. So I kind of figured I'd just take it week by week and see where it took me. But because like I said, I did have those technical difficulties, I kind of had a break and I was like, you know what, if I'm not going to be doing it, at least I can be a little bit more intentional with it maybe. And I think that that worked out in my favor in the long run, so I am very excited about that. But completely unrelated to the whole YouTube thing, I also have my Instagram account, which is actually where I push most of my content and where I'm the most active. So if you want to follow that, I would definitely recommend it. But while I was really playing around with that, I came across this title that really felt so right for me. And I don't believe in shrinking yourself down to fit into a box or one particular title, but I think having something to kind of not attach yourself to, but just kind of take on that essence, if that makes sense, makes it a little bit more easy when you're in the beginning stages of this, which is really where I am. Like, content creation is still new to me. I really only got serious about it March of this year, so I'm only a couple months in. This is only my second YouTube video, so still getting used to being in this space and having something to, like I said, to kind of encapsulate the essence of what I'm doing has been so much easier for me to like make the connection throughout all areas of my content and really in my life as well. So the title that I have come across is called An Embodied Movement Artist. And I love it so much because this journey for me has really always been about embodiment, even before I knew what that term was. So embodiment really is like, I'm going to talk about it through the modality lens of dance. So I pole dance. This is my studio, by the way. So I pole dance, and that is really what took me on this journey. It's where this whole thing started, because it forced me to be really raw and vulnerable and dig really deep within myself at a time where I was probably at my lowest and my darkest phase of life. And there are no coincidences ever in life, and it just so happened that I was scrolling on Instagram, and when I was in high school, actually, there was this girl who got me to audition for our school's kickline team. So like, think of like the Radio City Rockettes. That's what we used to do at like the football and basketball games. And that was a huge, huge turning point for me because it actually transformed my entire high school experience. I really didn't have a community before that. I never really felt like I belonged, and dance has always been a passion for me. And I wasn't really able to pursue it like through competition dance and stuff. Like, it just wasn't something my family was able to do. So that like made me feel like I was part of a team and I had a home, and it was really, like I said, transformative in my high school years. So fast forward to 2020, I happened to like stumble across this girl's Instagram page, and she's into like aerial arts. So I see she's like on the silks and the hoop and a little bit of pole, and I was like, wow, like this is amazing. So the first thing I did was like Google like studios near me. I didn't even know this was a thing at all. Like, I didn't know that pole dancing was anything that you could do outside of a strip club. Like, I had no idea that there was a whole fitness space for this. Sorry, that was my alarm. But yeah, like I was saying, I had no idea that there was a community for this. So I booked that first class, and my world was transformed ever since. At the moment I did my first spin on that pole, I was immediately humbled because it was hard. Like, I struggled my first few months of class like anybody else. Like, it was really challenging, but that was part of what drew me to it, because I watched, you know, the original girl from the Instagram, and I watched YouTube videos after, and I knew the amount of grace and beauty that could be like performed on this pole, but the amount of physical strength that it took to get there really intrigued me. So that's kind of what started that journey for me, and it unlocked so many versions of me and so many like just moments and lessons of just true healing and personal growth and development. And it sparked so much more than just a pole dance journey. I began, you know, embodied dancing before I even knew what it was. Like, it was just, for me at first, a means to make my pole dancing better. Like, I was still uncomfortable doing certain movements and dancing, so I just started free dancing every morning at home. Now that's an embodied dance practice that I've taken with me ever since. And there's just so many other examples that I could give of that, but pole dancing truly, truly sparked that journey for me. So an embodied movement artist feels so right because it encapsulates everything. Like, it's not just about pole dance, it's not just about dance, it's not just about embodiment or somatics or the healing journey. Like, it's truly everything. And that's what I feel like really kind of differentiates me in this space, or at least just what makes me me. And that's kind of the whole reason that I'm here. And I do want to make content because I've become so much more connected with who I really am, which has connected me with my purpose and my passions and has changed my entire life. It's the whole reason why I'm doing this right now, because like I shared in that first video, I really never thought that I'd actually do this, just because it was so intimidating to me at one point. But I feel like I've truly transformed myself by just taking steps every day to become the person that I've always dreamed of. And the movement journey is what really, really, really set the tone for that. Like, once you find something that connects you to the most authentic version of yourself, which movement is going to do for you every single time if you're willing to go deep enough, then it's just like you are so connected that you're automatically making decisions that's like aligned with the best and your favorite version of you, which I think is so, so beautiful. So by taking some time to like really figure out my title and really play around with that, I was able to figure out what kind of content that I wanted to put where. So like I said, I do have an Instagram that is where I put most of my content. My handle is @CassieFlows, so that's Cassie Flows with 2 S's if you want to follow me. But on there I'll post like just movement related things, so some kind of tutorial sometimes, clips of me dancing, clips of me doing embodied movement, examples of what that means. But that is my space for all things movement. I also incorporate the gym and workouts into that, so I have some of those on there as well. I also write. That is something that is really important to me and something that I've been reconnected with again after my movement journey. So I have a Substack now, which is kind of like a blog if you've never heard of it, but that's where I share a lot of my wellness tips, spiritual things. Like that's where I'm able to kind of dig deeper on topics that I kind of like to write about so that you can really read and take in the information and then go back to it a little bit more easily. Whereas with movement, it's much easier, obviously, to see somebody move and then kind of mimic that from a teaching perspective. And then we have this YouTube channel where I'm really going to be, so here's the tea. Here's what I'm going to be posting about. Really on my YouTube channel, it's going to be an extension of my Instagram, which I'm really excited about. So while I was on this journey of, again, figuring out like who I am, what is going on, now that I've really been connected with my true self and my purpose, I also had a chance to really connect with what makes me more unique in this space. And as a pole dance teacher, coach, whatever you want to kind of call that, as an embodied movement artist and somebody who wants to bring this modality to so many other people, I think that I have 3 defining things that, do make me stand out, or things that I am able to, really to bring out in my students, which is so exciting to me. And the first one is definitely embodiment. That's something that it takes, I think, somebody to help facilitate you on that journey if it's not something that you're comfortable with on your own, and to really help people show up in their movements as their most authentic self and to connect to self through movement is truly amazing. And I think that is the first thing that really kind of differentiates me and how I want to show up in this space. So that being said, number 1, embodiment. How I'm going to be presenting that on here, I have been kind of experimenting with recording these classes that I call sensual somatic flow, and it's kind of like a mix between yoga and like sensual dance, and it's really just cues, and it's like super vibey, and it's like a deep stretch with like a little bit of dance mixed in, but it's all meant to help you. It's integrated with somatic movements as well to help facilitate healing and self-love and self-confidence. Also going to be giving some exercises and, explaining how I do my embodied dance, whether that's on the pole or off the pole, so you can start to have that practice on your own as well. The second thing that I think really makes me stand out in the movement space, especially through the modality lens of pole dancing, is I think I have a really good way of teaching stage presence and fluidity and flow. So again, that kind of shows up on and off the pole, especially on this YouTube channel. So there are exercises that you can do on your mat to help you be a more fluid dancer and to be more in flow. This kind of does go hand in hand with embodiment and being more authentic in your movement as well. But I do think it's 2 separate things, because you can be a very fluid and flowy dancer without it being an embodied moment for you. Maybe not, actually. I don't know about that. I think that there's a certain level of embodiment with all dance, but some people don't agree, so take what you want from that. The third thing that I think really makes me stand out in this space has less to do with like the flow piece of it and more to do with the actual technical skill. And I think I'm really, really good at giving specific cues to help adjust your body in movements in ways that'll help you sustain poses and tricks a little bit longer. And this has everything to do with my experience in the gym. Now that that journey is also super important for me, I have built more of a mind-body connection where I'm able to better understand like what adjustments need to be made where we should be feeling certain movements in our body, and how to get the most out of our bodies to be able to, like I said, sustain these tricks on the pole. So I really want to use my expertise to kind of bring that forward on this channel. And how that might show up is, tutorials on the pole, whether it be simple tricks or just tips for certain moves and things like that. So I'm really excited to get into all of that on this channel, and now you know what I am going to be talking about and you know what to expect from me on here. So that is what I'm going to be teaching on this channel. I'm really excited about it. It's really basically just a mix of my big three movement modalities, which is dance and pole dancing, yoga, flow, and the gym, and how all of those kind of integrate into embodiment, which is what my passion and purpose has become all about. There is so much to movement, whether it's for our physical well-being, our emotional well-being, our spiritual well-being, and movement has facilitated all of those journeys for me, and that's really just what I'm trying to bring out in others. For a while I was really tripped up about like, how do I bring together pole dancing and the gym and yoga slash like somatics, like how does that all fit in? But truly, it really is just my movement big three. And like I said, like embodiment kind of flows through them all. And so I integrate them together by just being authentic to me, because it's what's important to me and it's what's showing up in my life right now. It's like pole dancing allows me to feel my feelings, and yoga allows me to feel my body and what's going in there, and the gym kind of allows me to feel nothing for a moment, like those moments where I just kind of want to tune everything out and just be, you know, not focused on anything at all. I don't want to be present, I don't want to be not present, I just want to be. And that's what the gym is for me. And like I said, my movement big three has been transformative for my whole life, because it's connected me to my passion and my purpose, which allows me to show up every single day and make decisions every single day that are aligned with the best version of myself, which is all I'm trying to do for other people. I feel amazing each and every day, and I genuinely want everybody to feel amazing each and every day and get the most out of life, because as far as we know, this is the only one we got. And so why not be happy and be passionate and be in love and just be in flow? Like, there is so much beauty in choosing this version of life, and that's all I'm trying to help people do. And you know, that's all I'm trying to do with this content as well. I'm going to be sharing my personal stories and kind of integrating that across all areas of my content, because that is also, besides my pole journey, what has gone on in my life has kind of been what has gotten us here. There would be no flow space if there were no past memories, traumas, experiences. So I will definitely be getting into a lot of personal things as well, and like just like vlogs and everything like that. But I'm so excited to have you guys here with me. I'm going to be posting my first sensual somatic flow class very, very soon. So I hope you guys are as excited for that as I am. And thank you for just sticking around for another video of me kind of introducing, and it's still like the beginning for me here, so thank you for bearing with me. We're getting there together. We're figuring this out together. So again, thank you. And if no one else told you today, I hope you know that I love you and I appreciate you and I'm grateful for you. Have a beautiful day.